Abraham and Sarah dearly loved their new baby boy. They cuddled him and fed him. They played with him and giggled when he wrapped his little hand around one of their fingers. They laughed when he smiled for the first time, and they were absolutely thrilled when he spoke his first word. Somehow, before they even knew what had happened, he was walking and talking and had grown to be a young man. Isaac was their joy of their lives. Abraham spent a lot of time with Isaac, teaching him to love and obey God. He told Isaac the story about how God had talked with him and told him to count the stars. He made sure that Isaac knew he was a special child that had been promised by God. As Isaac grew, he learned to worship God just as his father Abraham did. Abraham,
I am here.
take your son Isaac, whom you love so much, and go into the land of Moriah and offer him there as a burnt offering. I will tell you which mountain when you go there.
You stay here while I take Isaac to go worship God. Oh, that's on the way. Wait, Dad, don't we need a sacrifice? God will provide a lamb for us for the burnt offering.
When they finally arrived at the exact place God had told them of, Abraham started looking for large rocks to build the altar. Carefully he placed one rock on top of the other until the job was done. After that, he placed wood, which Isaac had carried, on top of the altar. Then, after looking around one last time, he had to do the very hardest thing he's ever done in his whole life. He gave Isaac one last long hug, and with tears in his eyes, he tied up his son and placed him on the altar. Of course, Isaac didn't want to be sacrificed as a burnt offering, and Abraham had loved his father, didn't want to do it, but they both knew that they had to obey God, so there was no struggle between them. Abraham picked up his knife. He raised it high above his head. Just as he was getting ready to kill his own son, he heard the voice of an angel crying out from heaven,
Abraham, Abraham!
I'm here.
Do not kill your son. Don't hurt him, for now I know that you fear God. You love him more than anything else, even more than your own son.
Abraham looked up, and there right in front of him was a ram caught in the thick bushes. Abraham quickly untied Isaac, and then caught the ram and put it in the altar. Abraham used his knife to kill the sacrifice, then used the torch to light the fire. There on the mountain, Abraham and Isaac worshipped the Lord together. They called the name of that place Jehovah-Jireh, which means God is my provider. Abraham and Isaac walked down the mountain together, rejoicing that the Lord had provided the ram and made another great promise.
They met their servants at the bottom of the mountain, and they started on their 3-day journey back home.
While I take Isaac to go worship God. Oh, we take the wood. Keep going.
Abraham and Isaac walked down the mountain together, rejoicing that the Lord had provided the ram and made another great promise to them. They met the servants at the bottom of... Oh, I'm a servant! Abraham looked up, and there right in front of him...